Hello and welcome to the Spoiler Cast, the podcast where we talk about movies and we don't care if we spoil them because it's in the name. It's the Spoiler Cast, and this is a Patreon exclusive episode. So I'm actually going to be joined by a guest, guest host this episode. It's my friend Martin. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Anyway, right. So let's just get that out of the way. Because this is the Patreon show, the Patreon exclusive show. If you're listening to this, you have paid for this content. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and if you're a pleb. Listening to this on the YouTube channel, I think this is only going to go up on the YouTube channel.
So it's just going to be a lot of swearing and...
Yeah, exactly. So if you're watching the highlights and not paying for it, that's fine too. But if you want to hear the whole thing, just go to patreon.com/don't make a scene, and you can just pledge. I think it's on the $3 level, and you can listen to the whole thing.
Do it.
Yeah, it's $3, man. Come on. Anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and e-beg more than that. That's about it. But just check out the Patreon. We're gonna do a bunch of Patreon exclusive stuff going forward. But anyway, the movie the movie we're gonna talk about mostly, I think, is a movie you chose. Please tell the audience what you chose.
I chose the Japanese historical drama horror film Onibaba.
Onibaba.
From 1964, written and directed by Kaneto Shindo. Sorry if I slaughtered the shit out of that.
I'm pretty sure, without doing a Japanese accent, it's Kaneto Shindo. I guess that's culturally insensitive to go, Kaneto Shindo now! So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, so it's a Japanese historical drama horror film.
Yeah, but I just got the feeling because of the name, Onibaba, that it was going to be a silly one, but it wasn't. Because I needed some convincing, so we watched a short introduction by Mark Kermode, who I like. And he also had a quote from William Friedkin that said, oh, this movie is going to make you shit your pants. I was like, oh, really? Okay. So that helped.
Spoiler alert, it didn't.
No, yeah, and we're going to get into how this... I wouldn't really call this a horror movie, but still. Let's actually just get into what... Because neither of us had seen it before, right?
Yeah. I hadn't seen it before. I had read about it in a book a couple of years back.
Okay.
And it's been on my mental watch list since.
Yeah.
So
what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was it was one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
It was so gorgeous. The way it's a bit hard to explain. It was just a very, very good looking film.
Yeah, I mean the way it was shot, and the way they used light in the movie, because it was a very contrasty movie. I think it also. The blacks got even deeper because we were watching it on a semi-broken TV that's kind of dim, but it actually worked really well because of the play between light and darkness in the movie. So the blacks were super black.
Yeah.
So that actually helped.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so that was my initial first thing that I thought of when the movie started was that it looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was a really cool movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed almost all. It wasn't a 10 out of 10, but it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, and it suffered from a problem that a lot of older movies suffer from, and that is pacing issues.
Yeah.
It kind of dragged in the second act.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it kind of drags from the beginning. I mean, you don't notice in the beginning, but let's just quickly say what it's about if people don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't listen to this if you don't know, but I mean, some people don't care about spoilers. It's takes place in we looked it up. It's like the
mid 14th century.
Oh, right, so
in Japan.
Yeah.
During a period of civil war. I'm just reading from Wikipedia right now.
Yeah, right.
And it's about an older woman and her daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Who makes a living on killing samurais.
Yeah, like
samurai soldier
who stray into their territory.
Yeah, to strip them of armor and weapons and sell them off. And they drop the bodies in a deep pit hidden in the field where they live.
Yeah. They like live in a swamp almost. I mean, no, it's literally a swamp next to a lake.
Yeah.
So the whole movie takes place in this huge field of what's it called? I'm not sure what it's called. The stuff that grows the reeds, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Which was always like swaying in the wind, which was also very beautiful.
Yeah, and the sound design, because there's constantly like wind noises.
Yeah, it's always windy. Which was that also added to like the atmosphere of the movie, because it feels I specifically like made a notion of that after like a few minutes, because there's no dialogue for the first like 10 minutes, so all you hear, other than a few like when they kill a couple of samurai, you only hear the wind basically.
Yeah.
Which kind of it sets a mood.
Yeah, and it's the field where they live, in like the swamp. The swamp is like never ending.
Yeah, all you see are the reeds or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we want to get into that right away, but that when the movie was over, we were kind of doing like a quick analysis, and it was because the location isn't just like a literal place where they are. It's also like figurative, that they're kind of stuck in this endless wasteland of nothingness.
Yeah.
Which goes hand in hand with the themes of the movie.
Yeah, we both kind of noticed that. We both had the same idea around like around the midpoint of the movie. Like, this place is like hell. It's because in the movie they talk about what is it called? Purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, and we both thought about like the whole place where they live being purgatory. It's nothing. It's just like reed. There's as far as I can see.
You see nothing else. And the only people who come there are like soldiers or samurai who are wounded and like trying to escape the war, and crazy people, which we saw, Hachi and Kichi or whatever his name was. And you can feel the tension between the characters, especially after Hachi and the young woman starts having their affair, or whatever you want to call it. After they start fucking, basically. Because I wouldn't describe it as a scary movie, especially since the first proper like scare, if you want to call it that. And the one we talked
like
about,
an hour in.
Yeah, it's
more.
I think it's more than an hour.
Yeah.
And sure, it is very effective, and it is very creepy, and it's not like a jump scare. It's actually creepy because it goes on for a while, and it's well made. But all the time before that, it's not scary. It's moody. It's maybe a little tense, but I would definitely call like the first hour and 10 minutes of it is definitely more of a drama.
Yeah, it's like a gritty, realistic drama about survival
Yeah, yeah.
and what you do to survive.
I rem- I remember describing it as a ghost story where the actual like
Yeah,
scary part doesn't come until the end, which that's
yeah, it's a classic
classic ghost
ghost story.
story. Yeah.
Yeah,
So in that way, sure, it's sort of a horror movie, but I know that like people have been arguing over because I looked that up. They have been arguing over what genre it actually is for like
yeah.
ever since the movie came out.
I would, I would personally classify it as a comfort horror movie. It's kind of cozy, and it's kind of weird to explain, but it's a cozy horror movie. It's like listening to a ghost story. It's kind of cozy in a way.
Yeah,
It can be
it's a little creepy.
cozy.
It's a little scary, but you're never gonna get like a heart attack from watching it. You're not gonna
No.
like William Friedkin said, shit your pants. I'm
No.
sorry, you won't.
No.
Which is I don't know, like I don't know what movie he watched. It's because there's no moment up until she puts the mask on that would even like remotely make you shit your pants. I don't know if he was just hyperbolic. Which he tends
probably.
to be. So.
He feels like a pretty like a dude who
He exaggerates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But the thing is, I think the movie is very unsettling at times. Like
sure.
when they kill samurais, it's very like matter-of-factly shot.
Oh yeah, it's become like a just another part of their job, basically, to kill them very systematically and quickly, and then just
and there was
them of
a
their
lot.
clothes.
Yeah, it was a lot more blood than I was expecting from a film from '64.
Oh yeah, definitely. It wasn't like European or American movies from that time. It was bloody and like violent. Yeah.
It was unsettling.
Yeah, and I guess those parts could especially like in the '60s, when horror was a little tamer, that could be part of the horror experience. But I mean, the horror element, the scary element, hasn't aged too well. But the movie overall has aged very well, because I think it was like very watchable. At least if you enjoy movies on that level. I mean, even your brother, because we were watching it on his TV. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't really like movies. He doesn't watch movies, and even he was like sitting and watching it for the most part.
Yeah,
because he always like does other stuff, and then he starts like turning his head.
He kind of half watches.
Yeah, and then he turns his chair and then he just watches the movie.
Yeah,
which that's always a good sign, because then it's even grabbing him, so that's good.
Yeah. I think Danne would like this movie.
Yeah, he probably
bit more.
He likes the aesthetic.
Yeah,
he would
love the aesthetic of the movie. One of the things that we discussed when we watched it was whether or not it was shot in a studio or not.
Yeah, because you pointed out some scene, and I agree that it looked kind of studio-ish.
And according to Wikipedia, it was shot on location.
Yeah, all of it.
And
right?
Yeah, and they put up prefabricated buildings to live in.
Yeah.
So the people who made it, they lived in those huts in the movie.
It took like 3 months to shoot it or something.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave the set.
Yeah, because they had a rule that if somebody left, they would not get pay.
Yeah, like you can leave whenever you want, but you don't get any money.
Yeah.
It was okay. And then the fact, which kind of adds to like the mood of the movie, was the fact that this swamp was like a proper swamp. They couldn't even dig the hole. Because as soon as they like dug more than like a couple of feet, it was just instantly filled with water. So they were just running around on like a mud island, basically.
Yeah.
So they had to. They built like scaffolding and made a fake hole like a few meters above ground, just to film the scenes where they actually go down into the hole.
Yeah, I can imagine that the process of shooting this movie cannot have been fun.
And that's what's so exciting, because when we watched it, we pointed out like the cinematography along with all the set design and all that is amazing.
Yeah,
And
there's some really tricky dolly shots.
Yeah, there's these long dolly shots where people are just running full speed. So they had to probably build like a 100, 200 feet long dolly rail, like in the swamp.
Yeah.
But it looks so cool when they're running through the reeds.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. Like this is like when you talk like you have to suffer for your art. This is a perfect example of that, because they definitely suffered making it, but it came out so good.